Welcome to Uipath Training Session 5 Data Scraping. So in Uipath Studio, we have two types of scraping methods available. The first one is screen scraping and another one is web scraping. Screen scraping is an important part of data migration and integration scenarios. It enables modern applications to talk with the legacy applications that do not offer an API interface and is the complement to the data entry side of automation. So when you don't have the APIs available to your Windows applications, then you can use the screen scraping. Means you can get the data out of your Windows applications without having an API interface. And another one is web scraping. Web data extraction is very tedious task for the most of the website owners and the developers. Uipath web scraping tool help you to build an automation to extract data from website in very short amount of time. So as name states, web scraping, it's only used to scrape the data from the websites in a very short amount of time without having APIs interface. So let's move to Uipath Studio to do the practical work upon these two scraping methods. The first one is screen scraping. So in order to achieve this task, I have created one small application which is like the user management system. It's just a Windows application. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create some dummy entries. Like, let's take John, the first name, and then Smith, the last name, the company ABC, and then language, let's say German. The state is Cologne, and let's save it. Okay, now I have the data in this data grid. So what I need to do is I need to get the data out of this grid, store that into the data table. So what I'm gonna use to achieve this task, I'm gonna use scraping method, which is to scrape the data from the screen. So here you just point to this table, to this tabular formatted data grid. Just select it. You see you would have entries here. So using this you can generate the table out of this text format. So how you can do it, you can use the formatting options like a column separator would be tab, row separator would be new line, and then you can preview the data. Here we go, and just finish it. Now you have one auto recorder workflow ready for you to use. So if you check this activity, it's just generate the data table. So its input would be like here. You need to provide the input. This is a string format, and then this string would be would have been generated from this activity. Yes. So the output of this activity will be the input for this activity. So let's see. Okay, in here, let's make the data table variable global. So first of all, what you can do is you can remove unreferenced variables. Okay, now I have two data tables. Let's delete one. Let's create it. Okay, now what we have is flowchart. Okay, select this activity. Okay, we have generated a table here. Okay. And change the scope to flowchart so that we can use this variable anywhere in the workflow. Okay, and let's drag for each row activity just to check whether we are getting the correct records out of that application. So just try to generate a table, and then here we can show the data into the message box. Okay, and row 0 to string. So row 0 means first column, so we have only one column in there. So what we can do is we can use row 0 to string, because in message box it only accepts the string format. So let's try to run it. Let's take a look on the application. Okay, we have two records. One record is filled with the data and another one is null record. So you will see the null values as well in the message box. Okay, I'm gonna run it and let's see what happens. Okay, for each object reference, okay, null reference. Oh, we deleted few variables which were not referenced. So let's try to do one thing. Just try to record another workflow. Just delete it and delete the video. Okay, sorry, we don't have anything to delete now. So let's okay, here. Okay. Now every single variable is deleted. So let's do the recording part once again. Okay, here we go. Generate the data table. Column, use the formatting options. Tab, new line, and then preview, and then finish. Okay. Okay, connect it to the start node, and for each row here, so the variable is data, get data table, generate data table, and then message box, to string, here we go. So as you can see, the values in the message box: Smith, the last name, and the company name is ABC, the language is German, the state is Cologne. Alright, and the null values, because we have the second row which is empty, so the null values. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's run the same workflow, but this time we will clear the records and we'll create a new dummy entry. Let's say Camilla Potter, the company name DDC DDS, and the state is say LA, the language is English, and Summit. Okay, we have different record now, so let's try to run the same recording sequence. Okay, I'm gonna run it. Here we go. So it's getting the data out of this data grid view from this particular application. So this is how we scrape the data from the Windows applications. So similarly, you can perform the same actions with your window applications, be it SAP Windows, be it Navision, or any of the window application. You can scrape the data out of it. Okay, let's move to another recording, another scraping method, which is data scraping, which is, we also call it web scraping. So let's delete the sequence and let's do one thing. So okay, well, I have opened the Google Finance. So let me do it again. So let's suppose I have Google open, and what I'm gonna do is using this scraping method, I'm gonna get the values from the Google Finance website, like the stock values and the stock information. So let's do one thing. Let's open Google Finance. Google Finance. All right. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the values. What we're gonna do is the stock name, and then the share price, the stock price, and then the fluctuation rate. We will get these three attributes out of this table. So let's go back to the scraping pane. Let's click here. So it's asking to select an element, open your browser application or document, and navigate to where you want to extract the data from. And then press next to dialog and hover over mouse cursor over the data source field and click that field. So it is asking us to select the patron. Okay, the stock name. The second value is this, should be the similar value, like to match the patron. So this, and then it's give it a name, stock name, and then next. So here you can see all the values, and what else you can do with it. You can extract the correlated data. So let's select the correlated data. This, the second value to match the pattern is this. Okay, it's a stock value. And then what else we want? Let's get the fluctuation rate. Okay, all right, flux rate. Okay, here we go. We have generated one data table using the data scraping method. Just click finish. No, it is asking is data spanning multiple pages. So as we don't have data in another page, then we need not to select it. If you would have it, then you can easily select the values here. Similarly, as you may have seen in the e-commerce websites, like the e-shopping websites, there you see the product and the product name and the product price, and then you would have multiple pages for those products and all. So there you can select yes, and then you can select that next arrow or the next page button in order to span to another page. Or because if the data is spanned in multiple pages, then you can use this option. As we don't have the data spanned into the multiple pages, so we need not to use it. So you can select now, and then you have a recording sequence generated. So what it does, it gets the data in, it gets the structured data out of the web and put the data into the data table. So it generates the output data table automatically while getting the data from the website. So the same thing we're gonna do with it as well. So like for each row, place it inside it, and the message box to show the values. Okay, and here we have data table. Okay, this here row 0 would have the string, and in the last column we have the fluctuation rate. Okay, go to main and connect it to the start node. Okay, let's run it. Here we go. The first value is Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's the price is 24,360.14, and the fluctuation rate is 0 at the moment, because I guess the market is closed for this particular stock, I guess. And then the next would be S&P 500 index. The current price is 2.656.3, and then the fluctuation rate is 7.69 minus. And then another one is Nashat, and the current price is 7106.65, and then the fluctuation rate is 3360. So similarly, it's for all. So this is how you can get the structured data out of the website. So it's very useful method to scrape the data from the e-commerce websites, or from the websites where they have grids, the information in the grid. So these two recording methods, the scraping methods, are really useful to automate your business processes. So that's all for the day, and see you in the next video. Thanks so much.